Hi, Mr. Ko here, and today we are going to complete the square. This is following that series with the whole quadratic functions and quadratic equations. So our goal for today is we're going to solve quadratic functions by completing the square. And the California standards that we're going to address are Algebra 11.0. So let's get to it. Alright, so here we have a quadratic, and the C part of the quadratic is on the right side of the equal sign. And so that's already set up for us. So we're going to go ahead and start the initial setup of the completing the square situation. So let's start that off. And so we have x squared plus 10x. We're going to leave a little space right here so that way we can complete that square. And then negative 16 plus that. Now again, we leave this little space right here. It's because we're going to go ahead and complete this part, create the square here, and then, but the thing about this is that you have to keep it equal. So if you complete the square here, so whatever that you add in here, you're going to have to add on this side as well. Okay? So how we complete the square here is we're going to go ahead and take the middle term, and we're going to look at the coefficient of that middle term, which is a positive 10. We're going to half that, which is 5, and then square it. 5 times 5 is 25. So this is where we got the 25 from. Since I added 25 here, I'm going to add 25 right here. And then I'm going to solve this part. Now, there's many ways to kind of get around to this part. However, the easiest method that, that you can probably use is you can just look at it and go, all right, that's going to give me x plus 5 to the second power. Or, just by looking at it, or you can just use the x method. So we're going to go and use the x method on this part, just so that it makes it a little bit easier for us to kind of see where our numbers come from. So let's go and put the 25 down here, and the 10 up here, and then these two are going to help us out. So these two, what two numbers will multiply to 25 and add to 10? And your answers will be 5. So our answers here will be x plus 5 and x plus 5. And again, we use the x method to go and factor this particular trinomial out. And that's going to be equal to, and that's just going to be negative 16 plus 25. Now we're going to go ahead and rewrite. So this is now going to be x plus 5 to the second power, because there's two of them, and then that's going to give us 9. Negative 16 plus 25, you owe 16, you have $25, you now have $9 left. Okay, so now we've done the x method, and now we're just going to square both. And the reason we're squaring both is because we want to get rid of this, okay? And really, you're not really getting rid of it. You're basically telling me what times itself would give us x plus 5. And since there's two of them, that is going to be your answer. So you have x plus 5 is equal to, and don't forget you have to square this, because if you square this side, you got to square this side. So the answer comes out to be plus or minus 3, because the square root of 9 is 3. Your final steps here is we're going to solve for both the plus and minus, but don't forget we still have a plus 5 here, so we're going to subtract 5 here, subtract 5 here, and that's going to give us x is equal to negative 5 plus or minus 3. And your two answers, what I would do here is I would just kind of separate them. So you can have x is equal to negative 5 plus 3, that's the plus 3 part, and then you can also have x is equal to negative 5 minus 3, and that's that minus 3 part. Okay? So x minus 5 plus 3, that's going to give us negative 2. So x is equal to negative 2. That's one answer. And then the other one is x is equal to negative 8, and that's the other answer. All right, let's go and try another one. All right, so let's do it again. So we're going to go and set it up. So here we have, again, x squared minus 8x, negative 12 plus blank. All right, so here we're going to go and fill this in with this part right here, where you're going to take the middle term, take half of that, and then square it. So half of negative 8 is actually negative 4. Negative 4 times itself is going to give us a positive 16. And that's why you always add here, because no matter what you do, positive or negative, you're going to square it, which makes it a positive anyway. And since I added 16 here, I'm going to add 16 right there. All right, our next step here is to go ahead and use the x method to figure out what our answers are right here. So we have 16, and we have -8. So what two numbers is going to give us -8 as a sum and positive 16 as a product? So the answer will be -4, -4, x minus 4, which is how we factored it. X minus 4 is how we factored that part as well. And then we're now going to make this all equal to -12 plus 16. Okay? And then here we're going to rewrite. So it's going to be x minus 4. Second power is equal to positive 4. Alright, so we've done this part right here, and we've just rewrote it. Now we're going to go and square both. And again, when we square both, we're just doing this so that way we can get this single term, x minus 4 is equal to, and that'll be a plus or minus 2. And then just like what we did with the other ones, we're going to go ahead and solve for both. So now we have this part right here. We're going to go ahead and, since we have x minus 4, we're going to add 4 to both sides. And you are now left with x is equal to positive 4 plus or minus 2. And that can be separated into two things. So you have x is equal to 4 plus 2, and we get that from the top part, 4 plus 2. And then you have the other one, which is x is equal to 4 again, but this time it's subtracting 2 because that's at minus 2 right here. So our first one is going to be x is equal to 6, and our second one is x is equal to 2. Alright, and that was it for completing the square. Not too bad. Okay, for more information or other types of videos like this, please go to www.youtube.com/user/TychoDad. Alright, thanks a lot.